Jason. I'm here with Jason from PillarToPost. You are a home inspector.
Yes.
What is your service area?
So we service all Denver Metro, Estes Park, down to Castle Rock. So wherever you need us, we will go.
Pretty broad range.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So the point of this is to just kind of answer some questions that many buyers have. Because when you're purchasing a home, there's so many things to be concerned about, and then the inspection comes up, and what there do we really need to worry about? What is an inspection? And so the purpose of this is just to kind of chat a little bit about this and what people can expect.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, you betcha.
So what is the purpose of having an inspection?
So the purpose is to really have a third-party, non-biased evaluation of the current condition of the property. That's really what the point of a home inspection is. Home inspection is going to be, or purchasing a home is going to be the largest purchase a client will make. And so you want to make sure that there's nothing really major going on with the property that you're going to take a hold of once you purchase the property. You want to know as you're walking into the property what you're getting into. So that's what we'll do, is we'll evaluate the current condition of the home and provide a written report, so you have that for negotiation or purposes, whatever you need to utilize that report for.
Okay. And then speaking of, what are some items that usually present as red flags? Because you don't necessarily have to worry about every item.
Correct.
But what are some things that typically present as red flags?
You know, structural is the biggest thing. Obviously, that's the bones of the property. So we want to make sure that there's a good structural integrity of the property. So that's the biggest item that we'll find is structural issues. But we also look for water damage. Water is probably the second biggest issue that a home can withstand. And then you get the mold on top of that too. So between structure, water, and mold is probably the biggest red flags that we will look for. We do look for, of course, everything else, but those are the bigger items that really could potentially cause an issue with the purchase of a home.
Well, and with mold, you have all sorts of underlying health issues that could then happen as a result of that.
Definitely, yeah.
So speaking of water, of course, you have leaky sinks, you have the roof. What are some other sources of water damage?
Basements, groundwater is a biggest one. So if you have a crawl space, we definitely look to see if there's any history of floods, water damage down there. Attics as well. So you get the roof leaks, but sometimes you can't tell by looking at the roof. You have to look in the attic space. And there's times where we find quite a bit of mold up in the attic, which will then, of course, come into the home through the HVAC systems and just normal process of going through the home. So really, it's the groundwater, and then the roof leaks is the big items.
Okay. And so what does a typical inspection look like? We get to the house, I let you in, and then I usually stay back because I don't want to interfere.
Sure.
But what does that typically look like?
So start from top to bottom really is the best process that a home inspector can use. Everybody's different when they do their process, but what we do is we start from the top to bottom. So we'll get on the roof right away, make sure that there's no issues with the roof, and then again pop our head up in the attic, make sure there's nothing going on up there as well, and then start from the top to the bottom on the inside. We run a lot of water during the inspections, so we'll look for any leaks at the fixtures. But then we'll also, as we get down to the basement or the lower levels, we'll see if there's any water damage or current leaks coming down below. Usually we'll test all the electrical outlets, operate all the windows, doors, make sure those are all operating appropriately. We will run the appliances as well. And with the appliances, we typically test for just on-off functionality of those. But like for us, we do run a full cycle in the dishwasher, make sure it goes through a full cycle, make sure it heats and drains and all that. And then we'll check out the HVAC systems, make sure those are operating appropriately, make sure they've been cleaned and serviced recently. Also check for gas connections, make sure that there's no gas leaks, carbon monoxide, so all those health and safety items on the HVAC as well. Test some pumps if we can. So we really run through and test probably about 600 items within the home during the inspection. So
that's a lot.
It's a lot of work, but it's imperative that we test those to make sure that we catch everything that we possibly can.
Exactly. And one of the things that I tell my clients is that your job is to find as many things wrong with the home as you possibly can.
Yes.
Of course, you're not going to find everything,
Correct.
but
Yeah.
you find a lot of things.
Yeah, we're only there for a short time, so we don't live there. We're not there for days on end to see what these things are. And sometimes that does occur where we will run water and there's no leaks at the time of inspection, but then a couple days later there happens to show a leak. So we definitely try our best, and we spend a little more time at the homes than maybe some other inspection companies do. But we definitely want to try to catch everything that we possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's very important. So how long does a typical inspection take? Now, I know it depends on the size of the home, but say 2,500 square foot home.
So 2,500 is right around 4 hours, 4 to 4.5 hours.
Okay.
Small condos can be about 3.5 hours, and then gosh, we can go up to, we've had 8-hour inspections too. So
It's been a big house.
it's a big house, yeah.
I do market updates each week, and I've seen some of these houses that the biggest one that has closed that week is like 11,000 square feet.
Yeah, those will take all day for